Now, my role is as Director of ISITC Europe CIC, and I've also been Chairman of the Blockchain User Group, which ISITC set up about 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, I guess everybody was in hype mode. We were all getting to learn and understand about blockchain. And we saw a huge amount of investment from the finance industry into the technology. And at that time, when we had our very first user group meeting, which only about a dozen people turned up, we looked for a terms of reference, which actually turned out to be quite more challenging than I'd imagined. And those 12 people came up with about 200 terms of reference. As we moved on through the user group, the 12 escalated to 50 and more meetings and spread their disciplines across the industry. So the hype was certainly taking effect, where we saw a huge amount of interest on blockchain. And the interest range from, this is revolutionary and this is going to change the financial markets as we know it. And this was a tidal wave of technology which was going to come in, and we're all going to get washed away, and banks and institutional investors and the like, we're going to be in a new world. Well, 5 years down the line, we haven't exactly seen a tidal wave. We've seen maybe a little wave lapping up at the innovation shores, but we have not seen a tidal wave. However, that does not mean there has not been some benefits and some good work done and some implementations of the technology around the industry. And every now and again, we do see in the newspapers an announcement of somebody that has used blockchain. And it's, although not life-changing, it's certainly having some impact. Now, it's that impact that we want to assess today. Where actually are we with the blockchain? And then from where are we now? Now, 5 years down the line, what can we look forward to in the next 5 years coming up? Do we see a tidal wave, or perhaps do we see a little bit more of a wave coming up to our knees, maybe?
Where are we with blockchain? I would like to initially to answer this question, to think about two ways of the technology. One is really crypto asset, or we can call them cryptocurrencies. So we want to talk about something that exists digitally, hasn't got or may not have a physical counterpart, that somehow this technology is able to assign some form of value through potential digital markets, right? And then the other part that I would like to think about is the technology itself, where is not used, associated with crypto asset or cryptocurrencies, whatever name we want to give.
Because I actually sit on the business side and run the custody and direct market access business. I will explain later, but custody is, of course, one of the key aspects when you talk about digital assets, because somehow you have to safekeep them, or when you tokenize, you have to safekeep the underlying assets. The use cases we have seen, and just to maybe give also direction from a financial industry or asset servicing perspective, what was interested for us, of course, the development of a truly digital assets is very interesting. Looking from a German perspective, we do not have dematerialization of anything except for government bonds by law. So that aspect is even a further leap for us, away from having all these little paper printers running downstairs at the CSD or exchange somewhere. So I think that's a very important aspect. And we have a very interesting, a big interest, of course, in tokenization. And then how do we settle securities compared to how we do it now? Do we use stable coins? Do we have something that the central bank issues?